Let me know when. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our ninth installment of Echoed Influence. Not your typical hero. I'm here as always with modest Betty herself, April Rodriguez. How are you?
Good.
And this is our first live podcast, and I am so excited. Please feel free to ask us any questions during the whole time. Please let us know, give us your feedback. We're here to answer any questions that you may have. This is our favorite part, and it's interacting with y'all.
Sorry, real quick, before I move on, is your phone?
I'll get it.
Okay, I just want to catch it.
Okay. All right, guys. So why don't you let the fans let them know what we've been up to?
So yesterday we were at not yesterday. I'm sorry, it was Friday. Friday we went to the Fullerton Art Walk. It was a lot of fun. It was through someone named Clarissa. She's a DJ. She hooked us up with Ion Media Studio, and they gave us a nice spot.
Yeah, it was so fun, guys. If you guys saw the live video, you saw we had all our props out and everything, and it was so colorful. We had so many cool people that we had to talk to. I was so fortunate for that. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there were a lot of great people that came out, a lot of really talented artists.
Various age groups. We met this lady in an all-white suit. Oh my gosh, she was hilarious.
Awesome.
She's like, I'm just looking to go have a glass of wine, have a conversation, you know. She's just like happened to walk by and buy some art. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That was a lot of fun. So we're gonna do it again next month, hopefully.
Yeah.
So
with the same guy, same place.
Yeah.
And this upcoming Wednesday in Whittier, we'll be at the Art Walk in Whittier. They asked us to do a live podcast over there as well. So please come and support us out there.
Mm-hmm. We'll be at Collab Inc., which is a space where you can go and do work with one another, have meetings and things like that. So it looks like it's pretty cool. But we'll be there Wednesday, hopefully with the home gallery crew.
So yes, and what's happening later on tonight, AP. That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, oh my gosh, today's such a big day for us. Not just the live podcast, but also we have the night bike ride with Home Gallery. We're going to be riding through the streets of Pico. We're going to just ride. We're going to have some of the Home Gallery crew is going to meet us at the parks. We're going to stop off at meet at Rivera at 7:30. Leave at 8. We're going to meet up. Stop again at Smith Park, stop again at Pico Park, and then stop again at Streamland Park. And then at Streamland, the Home Gallery crew is gonna have some fresh fruit, chips. We have waters, just to refuel and then head back.
Yeah, we're gonna take over the town tonight, y'all.
Yeah, get your bikes all ready.
You know, and it's all in good fun. No, you're not trying to be thuggish with it and just like smack cars and stuff. You know, just trying to have a good time with the community is what we really want to do. AP, fill us in on your collages. Like, she has these new awesome collages, and they're like she adds these little realistic views to them, like adding things to the hat or a veil to Marilyn Monroe. I won't say.
Stinker. So I was moving on to I was continuing my sad clown collages, and I showed you guys those before. So I did 2 new ones. One of them is a man, and he has a clown umbrella, and he's sitting there with a cool little hat. The last one I did, though, is one of Marilyn Monroe, and sad clown. She's the entertainer, the bombshell. Always has to be beautiful and sexy.
So cool.
And
awesome.
I did clown. I was supposed to bring him and show you guys, but we'll put him up on the Instagram feed. I also put a hat and a veil. It looks really cool. You guys will be able to see it later. But I also ordered stickers.
Yes.
So come up Wednesday, and I should have some.
Echoed Influence
new
stickers too.
Yeah.
Just to give out. The Echoed Influence stickers are just to give away and stuff too for our fans.
So look out for us on Wednesday if you're free. 5 to 8, I believe, or 5 to 9 is the art stroll, Whittier Art Uptown Whittier Art Stroll, and then we'll be there doing our podcast from 6:30 to 8.
Yeah, and we'll be selling our art there as well too.
Yes,
so
so
come take a look, come support. You come by and you say hi to us, we'll give you a free sticker. Also, I wanted to introduce something that we both had been thinking about doing for a long time. Lately, all I've been doing is helping AP train our new puppy. Some of you guys see her named Shuri. She's getting big, and it's I gotta say, as I have 3 other dogs before meeting AP, and she's helped me train these dogs like tremendously. Like sometimes it's a little bit of help, and with it came all these tips and tricks. And I was just thinking, it'd be a great idea to share that, and well, we thought that, keeping all that stuff to ourselves is, the dogs and people who love dogs, that community is something we would like to be a part of as well.
Oh,
So we came up with an idea called Beach Bear. And Beach Bear is just like a little something like Home Gallery, but with pets. We'll go over tips. If you have tips to share with us, we'll give you some advice as well. What to feed them, how to keep them cool, how to train them. We'll groom them together. We'll go on walks together. I have a few inventions that I have in mind. AP has gone to go fix the lighting in this. I believe I've been darkening the screen. Going out for bike rides, I got dark. But yeah, so let us know what you guys think about the Beach Bear idea. We wanted to go forward with that. If you guys have any pet that you want to share, as long as they're friendly, we want to bring them into a similar community as that of Home Gallery. So pet expo, shit like that would be cool. So moving on.
So we're introducing our episode today, which is Not Your Typical Hero, all based on heroes that aren't exactly perfect. But before we do that, we wanted to talk a little bit about the terms that we are discussing. So hero is the first one. Hero, according to Merriam-Webster, is a person admired for achievements and noble qualities. So for me, I think of
Spider-Man,
Hercules,
can't say it.
Or Captain America.
They will, Samson in the biblical sense, noble qualities.
And then villain. A villain, we have two definitions for that one. Villain, the first one is one who is blamed for a particular evil or difficulty. And two is a character in a story who opposes the hero.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, everybody's a hero in their story, right? But I think of the devil and stuff like that, he was blamed for particular difficulties and God damn it, devil. Even me personally, I go fucking Loki. I think it's him. We just, as outlets, we got to blame somebody. But, the focus is on not your typical hero. And I wanted to dive in a little bit on the anti-hero. Now, it's simply put, it's a protagonist or notable figure who lacks conventional hero qualities. That could be like Tyler Durden is one of my all-time favorite. Al Bundy, not your typical hero. Willow. You guys like Willow? If you got, some of you might be too young for Willow. But yeah, those are, I feel like a lot of people are getting closer to those type of characters nowadays. What do you think? What do you think, AP?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think so. Yeah.
I think they relate more to him lately too because of the conventional.
Let's save that for.
Okay. So, if you guys are familiar with certain TV shows, I mean, I love The Office and I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Now we're welcoming in we're bringing back our segment, Would You Rather?
And since we're focusing on this episode, we're also focusing this episode on steering away a little bit from comic books and trying to focus more on just today. For today, we're focusing a little bit more on TV shows, movies, and other stories. So we chose TV characters this time.
Yeah. So here's a good Would You Rather. Simply put, if you're fans of the show, would you rather do Charlie work with Charlie at Patty's Pub or work on Dwight's farm with Dwight on his beet farm?
Yeah.
How about you, Amy? What would you choose? Just going through the characteristics, Charlie will offer you all the beer you want. And you probably got Frank as a connection, which is a lot of money. You're probably in the city. They probably don't have air conditioning. You're probably going to be bashing rats with Charlie. But with Dwight, you'll be outside working.
Yeah, with Dwight, I think I'd be out on the farm doing farm gardening stuff.
You might see a fucking cow.
And he'll probably give me cow's milk or goat milk.
Don't say cow.
And some kind of shepherd pie or something,
Yeah, and if you really wanted beer, I'm pretty sure he could brew it for you.
Yeah, probably.
But the thing is, I think he's going to be a total dick. I mean, people in the office didn't want him to be a boss for a reason.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
What is he going to make you do on this farm to earn that?
But at the same time, once he was boss, he was a pretty good, He was at the very, very end, he was not too bad of a boss, I think. You don't think
well, he was very mean. He kind of, when they tried to convince him to stop the failsafe, remember that? He made him dig a horse grave. He did it, but they went through great lengths, putting pregnant Pam through all that shit. Nah.
She didn't do anything.
Nah, she didn't do shit. Erin was like pretty much the first one that was like, oh, here, let's start digging this shit.
My vote is for Dwight. I think I would have a lot of fun with like gardening with Dwight,
Yeah, I think I just end up wrestling with that filthy fucker Charlie, like, like just getting drunk with him and not even doing our job.
At the pub.
Yeah, so I'd have to go with Dwight too. I do way better outdoors anyways.
Yeah, I think Charlie's funny and I think I would have a good time with him, but like I think I would enjoy doing work with Dwight more.
Yeah, I probably will learn a lot too. Dwight's a pretty smart dude. He knows a lot of shit. Going on this now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go through our various degrees of the anti-hero. So we have labeled this first degree, as the OG anti-hero. His heart's in the right place. He's naive, clumsy, persistent, and, in insight, he feels insignificant. And him as a character is overbearing, maybe a little annoying.
So these anti-heroes, you think of like these guys that are just kind of dopey, like they're moving around, they're walking around, and they're dropping things, or they don't have the physical
coordination, or they don't have the coordination.
They want to, and they're trying. And they might not be like as smart as other people, but they're really trying.
I guess the right term, they're not conventionally smart, but like on their own pattern or whatnot, they are. Like an example is Michael Scott. He's a guy who, Jesus, man, when I first saw The Office, I was like, man, how much longer can this guy work here saying all these sexual offensive things? And but later on in the episode, they call him in. They're like, hey man, what are you doing? That's right. You're the only branch that's succeeding, and you're like, what the fuck? Like this is your unlikely hero. He cares so much about his employees.
Yeah, he's like oh my gosh. I mean, if you watch, so you've seen him mess up a million trillion times
and say the wrong thing.
He keeps trying though. He keeps trying to do the right thing as much as he can, and he doesn't always look out for himself. So that's the thing about the anti-hero too, is that there's a part of them that isn't exactly the hero, and so he does things that are selfish, and he does things that are more for himself, but he still tries to do the right thing at the same time.
And what's another one? What's another OG anti-hero that you can think of?
I think I guess Frodo would be another one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because he's definitely an unlikely hero, because he didn't want to be when given the role. He fought it, and he messes up a lot. He makes wrong choices.
Yeah, I think like in every movie he got stabbed or stolen or some shit like that, but he's persistent, he's a perseverant guy.
And he succeeded in the long run.
Yeah. And he himself at some point, I think most of the time he felt insignificant, which is why he fought the idea of going, but he really pulled it off, and that was pretty cool. I like that. Can we move on to the second degree?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, moving on. We got the wild card anti-hero, the sarcastic, comedic, risk taker, selfish, know-it-all. A good one.
I feel like that's the typical anti-hero when you think about it.
Yes, that's a great structure. Like a Deadpool is a great example of that. But to deviate from such things, we got guys like Tyrion Lannister, who's just like, snarky. If you guys watch Game of Thrones, he's really snarky. You're very much unlikely hero because he's a small person,
and he's totally sarcastic and a know-it-all.
Yeah. And another one is like El Bundy. I remember watching that guy from a young age, and then growing up, just falling more in love with that character, and just relating to him completely. Like just that hard day, and he's just so snarky, witty, and even though he has like that hard day at work, he knows how to get to his customers, the ones who want to fuck with them.
It's funny because we just saw this episode recently with Al, and he had the opportunity to cheat on Peg and get paid for it too.
She was going to get bought out by his former crush or former lover from high school. And she was like a sex icon. I don't know who the actress was, but like she was a sex icon.
Wasn't it Vanna White?
Yeah, I think so. Blonde haired chick. White. Anyways, and Peggy was looking for any excuse to go in and see them and shit. Take your fucking million. I want my man back. That was pretty cool.
And he didn't want to either. It wasn't just like Peg came and saved. She actually saved him because he didn't really.
Yeah, it was mutual. They both wanted each other. There's I think Al just wanted to bluff a little bit just because he wanted appreciation from his family.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is the only time he ever really got it.
But I think that makes him a great example because in the end he did do the right thing, even if he's kind of mean to her and makes fun of her and stuff. You can tell that he genuinely loves her.
If I can make a quick recommendation while talking about the wild card anti-hero, there's a show called Rescue Me with a bunch of firefighters. Really good show. If the ladies are watching or anybody, like the firefighters are good looking, except for Dennis Leary. um, and
but he seems to get so many of the girls in
hey,
it. Like
spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
But like no, I'm just playing. But in Rescue Me, there's there's a degree, like the whole team is a bunch of wild card anti-heroes. They're all like that. I feel like the particular one in that show, his name is Tommy Gavin, played by Dennis Leary. He's like I said, the degrees are almost like a spectrum. They can just vary between each other. And I think Dennis Leary's character, Tom Gavin, is that. Like, he is the OG and the wild card. The wild card in the sense that he'll do whatever to be this fucking rock star like firefighter. It's weird. And then he's also the OG with the sense that he is fucking up his personal life all the time. He is fucking up constantly. And then he finds a way to fix it all the time. So, I mean, he's I like him as an anti-hero as well. I just wanted to shine a little light. If you guys get the chance, it's on Netflix. Go ahead and watch some Rescue Me. Let me know what you guys think. And one more. Can you give us one more?
Sure. Let's talk about, how about Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Okay. Beetlejuice, he's not like, I've never known him to be a hero until I saw like the cartoon. Like, he was actually helping out, what's her name?
Lydia?
Yeah, like in the cartoon, I don't know if they made it, but I've always known him to be like this unconventional hero. But he is snarky, know-it-all, fucking comedic relief, in these serious situations. Oh my God, I wish they would come out with the second one.
I think it's more like he's not necessarily doing anything bad.
If you think about it, he's defending his house.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And I mean, it's such a guy who doesn't care about rules. Of course, he's not going to care about the living's law. It's his house. He's gonna dish it out. I think that's something that people overlook, though. They automatically think that Beetlejuice is just this dickhead who just showed up at their doorstep and just started fucking people up. But he needs a job too, And I like to think The Mask is a good example too. Snarky Woody is your unlikely hero in the wild card section. Now, I would like to move on to the third degree, which is going to burn you the most, which is the ruthless anti-hero. Now, the ruthless anti-hero, he's dark, he seeks vengeance, he has a haunting past, no faith in humanity, most likely he works alone. A good example of that is like John Wick. John Wick was a movie that I only saw the first one so far. I know the second one's good. The third one's going to be good. I haven't seen it yet, but I have faith. The choreography was great. The first one was fantastically done. And I think he's that one of those driven, dark revenge characters, and like he's not going to put his faith in humanity. That's why these guys do it on their own. They take it into their own hands. They usually like to work alone. Some of them, I don't think they prefer sidekicks, but they need partners. That's what I like to think when it comes to these guys who are going in these things alone, and they don't have to. Like Tyler Durden. It's funny because you think he was with somebody the whole time, but he was actually working alone. Can you come up with another example of a dark, ruthless character?
I think you have a few on here that you are some of your favorites.
Well, see, Kratos. Kratos is one of these ruthless anti-heroes. I mean, not only will he kill you if you have to, I mean, he'll kill you to prove a point. I played the last game, and he kept telling Boulder, man, you better back off, man. I basically telling him, stop trying to kill your mom. The next time you put your hands on her, I'm going to kill you. And we both know that's the right thing to do. You don't want to see someone kill their mom, but Kratos took it to another extreme and, had to finish him. And then there's another one that I like to, he's my all-time favorite. He's a ruthless character. And to me, he's my favorite hero of all time. And it's Spartacus. Spartacus is my all-time favorite hero. And he, from the show, he's driven from dark revenge and a haunting past. He has no faith in him. He doesn't even believe in the gods anymore. He actually, if they are real, he provokes them. He prefers to work alone, but then again, he does better with a team, with partners. And then I think AP has at least one.
No.
Come on, talking about she picked Jamie Lannister.
No, I picked John Wick.
I picked John.
No, I picked John Wick.
But Jamie Lannister is a great pick too. I think too. The only thing is that he can work with other people. He has to learn as a transitional character. He has to learn. But yes, he has a dark, haunting past with revenge motives, and he didn't have faith in humanity from the beginning. From what I saw, like he feels he has no real consequence at the end, just like all these other dark characters, like the Punisher, my favorite. So we're going to move on to counseling with comic book couples. I happen to have a letter right here. And if you can help me out, AP, and I'm helping this EI listener. It says, "Hey, EI, my partner in crime has gusto and his heart is in the right place, but he needs a push in the right direction. How do I motivate him to kick ass?" Mindy M. Before you answer, if anybody can guess who's writing that, we'll send you a free sticker. Let us know.
My partner in crime has gusto and his heart is in the right place, but he needs a push in the right direction. How do I motivate him to kick ass? I think it's important to help your partner find what works for them, what their passion is, what they're driven towards, and just encourage them. I think a lot of times people are too afraid to try things because they're afraid to fail, they're afraid to fall, they're afraid to mess up. So just giving someone the space in the room to fall and fail and then try to help guide them into the right direction, I think is the best way.
I really have nothing to really add to that. Just that that don't overdo it. Don't try and over, because that's gonna really push somebody away. But I mean, with AP, she came into my life and really opened up. So just be open minded. Like, who the partner has to be open minded as well, and be receptive. Because I mean, at first when she told me that I had other skills, I was like, nah, I'm just a fighter. I'm just a fighter. And then we discovered more. She just kept digging and, being supportive. Even if whatever I made was shit, she was really supportive of it. It made me feel like it wasn't. So it made me feel like to keep going, kick ass, So thank you, Mindy, for writing to us. Thank you, AP, for the advice. I'd like to move on, and I want to ask the simple question: is
so we're talking about anti-heroes. We're talking about pretty much we're looking at the range between hero villain, and we're trying to look at that in between space, that gray space with anti-heroes. So we talked a little bit about the degrees of anti-heroes. We talked about the definition of a hero and a villain and an anti-hero. And so we want to come to the meat of our conversation, which is,
how thin is the line between heroes and villains lately? I mean, I feel like a lot of villains and now, like how they write them, a lot of people are more receptive to them simply because they believe they're a hero in their own right. I mean, even if it is whatever they're doing is sadistic and whatnot, like if you know any background about them, you can get some depth about that character and realize that they like Loki. He believes what he's doing is right. He believes he's a hero. I mean, a lot of these villains, go forward with that. Like I said, everybody's a hero in their own story. I mean, can you give us an example of one of those characters?
I'm sorry, of what?
Of one of those characters who believes like they're, how do I say, like they're hero in their own right.
Well, I mean, like you said, Loki was the one that I think of, like someone who thinks he's a hero in his own stories.
Even like Red Skull, like if you ever read that dude, like he wasn't motivated simply by the idea of Hitler or anything like that. It was more like just he believed he was leading people to a better life, and sacrifice came with that. Thanos thought he was doing the right thing. If you've ever seen Gangs of New York, a good example is Daniel Day-Lewis's character, the Butcher. He thought he was doing the right thing, by keeping people who are native to America simply native, and he hated the Irish. So Daniel Day-Lewis, hey, good job on that. Leonardo DiCaprio on Gangs of New York. But there's a rise.
No. Before you going to talk about how the hero or the villain sees himself
as a hero?
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about right now.
I thought you had more that you were gonna.
I not really in depth about that idea so much as like I can see the why people like more villains nowadays, like Deathstroke. People who are willing to go over that line, and you're not a hero anymore.
Well, I thought you were just like with Loki, like how he sees himself as a hero. Like I think a lot of times, like in stories, we have this perception that And a lot of times in stories, we have this idea, you have this very black and white hero, villain. And we do that in real life. In real life, we'll do that with people, you know what I mean? Like, we like to make people into villains, and we don't see that they're just normal people with their own goals and their own intentions in their life. And so we easily place the label of villain onto people, even though they may not even be a villain. Like, we just take a moment.
We lightly touched on that with James Gunn and what's happening with him. It's like he's not a bad guy or anything like that. He's apologized profusely. And Jim Jeffries did this simple episode where he talked about this study in which people feel better about themselves when they go online and basically tell people to kill themselves, or being able to be that social media judge. Like, there's I feel like you're the villain at that point,
And so I feel
a lot of people deserve redemption.
Like, our question was, how thin is the line between heroes and villains? And honestly, that line is just perception. Like,
it's blurred.
Whose eyes are you looking from? Because in some people, like, you think about like our real life villains, like think about maybe who North Korea, right? We're villain, but in their eyes, maybe they don't see themselves that way.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know what I mean?
They think they're making their families happy and proud and
doing the right thing. They think they're doing the right thing. So I like that line between heroes and villains sometimes is perceptions. Obviously, there are some people who are doing bad, know they're doing bad, and continue to do bad. Whereas, like I said, someone in North Korea might not necessarily believe that they're doing bad, but someone else could very easily see that or think that they were.
Definitely. I mean, like the same thing with these, even the typical bigots that we have in this country, they learned that shit, it wasn't something that they're born with. They kind of just learned it from their parents. Parents hate that, they hate that. And it's funny how they won't agree with their parents on anything else though. That's why you get these teenagers arguing with their parents all the fucking time, so go for it.
So one of the things that I thought was interesting is I feel like there's been a rise lately, well, not lately like in the past year or two, but lately in the past like decades, of the anti-hero. Like we were talking about before, that maybe 50s, 60s, 70s, that there was a lot of TV shows like Brady Bunch and Partridge Family, where it's like these perfect families with these perfect lives, and the worst things that happen to them is like their dog rolls in the mud after they give it a bath. You know what I mean? And I think to me, it seems as if people were just tired of trying to live up to these expectations of being these perfect people. So then you get these rise in anti-heroes who are not perfect, and they're flawed, and they make mistakes, and they reflect more of the people, what people are really like.
They're far, Peter Parker's a flawed guy in his own right and everything, but he's not no anti-hero. And I feel like an anti-hero as a character gives you, the viewer, the reader, that room or that cushion to feel like, man, it's not all. I mean, if people think that way too, or they're just as flawed as I am, like to a degree, like where you think what they think, you apply the same thought. But yeah, I've been diving in a lot more anti-hero readings myself. I've been reading The Boys and that, so fucking nothing but anti-heroes.
Well, you know what I think of too is I think of shows like The Office, which we analyze constantly. I think of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Arrested Development. You have all these comedies and shows, or think of The Crew, like Jonah Hill and all of them. You have all of these comedies with these anti-hero type guys who are just your average guys, you know what I mean? Yeah. You have the consistent rise in them, and not just a rise in them. I mean, Office is probably one of the most watched comedies of all time, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with the fact that Michael Scott messes up a lot. Yeah, makes us all feel a little bit better about our flaws.
Yeah, we go, we're not so stupid. Or you're right, makes you feel better about your own flaws.
Yeah, you just don't feel so bad about them, and I think but I also believe it's cyclical. I think at some point we're going to come back and we're going to be okay, we're tired of being average Joes and we want to strive for more again, and then we come back with those Supermen or those.
So it's all about influence then. But I feel like it's important, you as a reader, as a viewer, whatever, as a fan, to be true to yourself. I mean, don't change just because Superman is all of a sudden doing something You know, that's I feel a lot of people invest in these characters as real life people, and they get angry at them. Like I have said before, I know people who were pissed off at Superman. Superman fans who were mad at Superman for saving immigrants. You know, like
Or even like Star Lord. Star Lord, I would say, is the anti-hero of all of the Marvel heroes, right? Or one of the anti-heroes of all the Marvel heroes. And everyone was so upset at him over the Thanos thing.
oh yeah.
Do you remember how upset they were?
Yeah, I mean, they attacked him as Chris Pratt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the actor was being attacked verbally. Like that was ridiculous. You know, like you're too invested in the character, but that's, I mean, goes to great writing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
By James Gunn. Anyways, so can we move on to our EI recommended reads? What do you have for us, AP?
So the EI recommended reads. We're deviating from our normal comic book type books today, and we are talking about. Well, I am at least. I'm going to bring up the book Hatchet, and I know Hatchet is a fairly popular book, and most of the time, most people have read it during school. But for those of you who haven't read it before, it's a middle school reading level, so it's a fairly quick and easy read. It's about this little boy who is a product of divorced parents, and he's going to visit his father, leaving his mother, traveling over the Canada wilderness with his stuff to visit his dad and the hatchet his mom gives him when the pilot has a heart attack and they crash into the Canadian wilderness. He's left on his own to defend himself. And the reason I bring it up for this episode is because he's not your typical superhero. He's this middle school aged kid who has to survive in the wilderness by himself, and not only survive, but figure out how to get found by family and loved ones with no phone, no phone, nothing like that. It's a great read. It makes you kind of self-aware, like, oh, would I be able to do that? How would I handle that situation? Would my mental space be sound enough to be able to be like, not panic, That's why I bring up Hatchet by Gary Paulson, I believe is his name.
Gary Paulson. Oh, no, that sounded like an MMA fighter.
I was thinking from Fight Club, like what's
Robert Paulson, who is a real MMA trainer. There's a guy named Robert Paulson who's an MMA trainer. A very good one too. I don't really have a recommended read. I actually just have a movie that I think people would appreciate, and it's on the level of survival and overcoming. And then this movie has 3 degrees of hero, I believe. It's a true story. It's called Defiance. It's about these 3 Jewish brothers from Russia when Nazi occupied Russia, and they how do I say it? They fled into their woods where they know the woods very well. And so Tuvia, Zeus, and Asoyo are the 3 brothers. And they get more Jews to go into the forest with them, and they protect them for years while the Nazis occupied Russia. And they went to war. Like when Nazis tried to get close, they knew the terrain so well that they were able to flush out every Nazi that came after them. And it took you to their winter in Russia, in the woods, with all these people trying to survive and living as a tribe. Just imagine going a decade backwards, and now you have to do everything fucking from scratch. And it was just hard. These modern people are trying to adjust and adapt in a situation where a lot of them are dying and they're taking a great risk. And motherfuckers, man, they made it. Just to let you guys know, you can look those guys up, and they were real. I think Asoyo's the only one who ended up passing from the whole thing, but it's a great movie, guys. I think you should watch it. Make you really appreciate your family and everything around you. So we're going to move on, AP, to our fantastical fan favorite.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Enter Royal Rumble. Yeah, that was a good one. We got in one corner, we have Fry. Can you tell us a little bit about Fry before I talk about his opponent?
Philip J. Fry from Futurama is a character who went back in time. I'm not sorry. He didn't go back in time. He is from the past. He is his own grandpa because of a glitch in history. And because of that, he actually has something in his brain that delta, something about the brainwaves makes him immune to.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that alien episode?
They couldn't fuck with his brain because he was too stupid. Oh.
But it was because he went back in time and is his own grandpa. So we have Fry
I
in
love
one
that
corner,
show.
and in the other corner we have
Morty Smith. Morty Smith, you know, he went through similar things as Fry did. He's been back and forth in the future. He's seen different versions of himself. Most of all, he puts up with Rick, and that is not an easy task to do. Not saying that Fry doesn't have anybody hard to deal with,
yeah.
but
And so we picked these two because they go with our
Unlikely
theme
heroes.
of unlikely heroes.
Yeah.
They're probably more similar to the OG
Yes, both of
unlikely
them,
anti-heroes. You know, they're kind of clumsy. They're a little bit, you know, not this brightest crayon.
most of the time they have to rise to the occasion. They're not
Yes.
already there.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
I feel like there's a fan theory going around that Morty's also his own grandfather. That
Oh,
he's also
really?
Rick himself,
Oh, that
which is
he's
why
Rick.
Rick is
I
so
see.
fucking mean to him. You know,
Because
I
it's
think it's
younger.
because it's like, you know, yeah, it's the only thing that gets him to that level of
see.
intelligence for all. That's just the theory. And there was something else that was similar to them too, that Morty has a wave that protects Rick. Like Morty gives off a brain wave that camouflages Rick.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
he's like, oh, with
'cause
the,
that's with the dome
Morty
when
waves.
they had all the Mortys.
Yeah, yes,
right.
which is terrible. So
Yeah.
there's a similarity there, and the thing is that one of the things I differentiate between them is that Morty has this like snapping. He snaps like, and then he fucking dominates.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like there was that one time that Jelly Bean tried to rape him, and he
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
snapped it. He just beat the shit out of him. The thing with his arm when it got big and crazy, he snapped.
What about that? Wasn't there that one too where he had to kill that cloud of dust?
Oh yeah, yes. Like he has to overly commit, like to the point where he's just drained emotionally.
Yeah.
There was another time where in the dream, I think someone was fucking with Jessica, or somebody was in any episode, someone was messing with Jessica, and he got fired up, like, and he went after him as well. So he has like this snapping factor.
Well, it's funny because there's this episode in Futurama where Fry has to fight Zoidberg. Dr. Zoidberg.
Yeah.
And he's,
For the female, the female crab, right?
And he's similar in the sense that like he has to snap before he'll do anything. But at the same, just as easily as he snaps into it,
he snaps
out of it.
Just like Morty too. Yeah, like
Yes.
calm down, Morty, calm down. You know, but another thing that differentiates them, I think, is fear. They have different levels of fear that they feel.
Oh yeah.
I think Fry is not. He's oblivious to most of his fears, which gets him cut in half or fucked up. But not to say that Morty's fear doesn't get him into trouble either.
I feel like Fry's fear are more. I'm not that he's oblivious to it, but or I guess he would be oblivious.
Yeah, like I said, it's a degree. It's more like he doesn't notice it until it's too fucking
yes,
late.
you're right. Yeah, there
And
you go.
I think Morty
Yeah.
reacts a little bit faster because he's
see.
scared, you know, and he gets too scared and then he snaps,
Mm.
you know, and I think that's a useful thing in a fight like this between two guys. Of course, like I'm gonna go with Morty, but it sounds like Fry matches up perfectly with him.
Oh yeah, definitely. What I was gonna say is I think I have honestly have a little bit of a hard time choosing. I think I would go with Morty too, just because I think. Not that I think Fry is more empathetic than Morty is, because I think Morty is very empathetic
Yeah, he's
as well.
super compassionate.
Because I think I could see either of them easily being like, I don't want to hurt you, you know?
Yeah, I
stopping
can't do
themselves.
this. Yeah,
But I feel like Morty has more of what it takes to, because he's
That's
been
true.
through so much.
yeah,
and done
he
so
has
many.
he'll follow through with
Yes,
killing Fry.
yeah,
As opposed to Fry probably just beating him up and walking away from the
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
I'd say that's how the outcomes would happen. I'm not saying I don't know who would actually win.
I
though.
know, that's a tough one.
But I'm
So
saying
you
if there
guys
was an
have
outcome, the outcome would be for either one, Morty just beats that he'll kill Fry,
yeah.
or Fry ends up beating up Morty so bad that he gets upset.
Yeah, so if you guys have
Come back,
any
kills
say on it or have anything, let us know, because
Sup, Liz,
otherwise it's just
Julian, Nina.
yeah. Hi guys.
I can't see that one. But hi, y'all. Who do you think would win between Morty and Fry? If you're watching this right now, and feel free, like at the end of the segment, we'll be answering any questions that you guys may have. So please feel free to launch them out there, and we won't leave. We won't leave until we answer the last question if we get any.
Yeah.
So,
So for our Interrealm Rumble, then
we got a tie.
you think it's tie?
I can't say one or
is
the
hard.
other.
Yeah.
This is our first tie and everything, and I can't say that it's going to be Fry or Morty. I think they're both great, like sidekicks and partners.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they both give their all to people who don't give a shit about them. So, but it's hard. So it's hard to pick, which one would, because I sympathize with them both, and I think they're both great characters. So, I just want to let you guys, just remind you guys about the bike ride tonight. If you guys haven't got your bike stuff together, it's going to happen at 7:30. We're going to meet at the park at 7:30 at Rivera Park.
T-minus 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So make sure you get put air in your tires. Make sure you get your reflectors cleaned up.
Your radios.
Yeah.
We can give a quick tip real quick. If you got friends or anything while you're there, bring your headphones so you can call each other and you can talk to each other a little bit more clear while we're riding.
And not only that, you can listen to music and still hear the outside sounds. Since you're talking to your friend, the microphone will pick up the noises. Like if there's any kind of emergency, like firefighters or ambulance or anything, you'll hear it through their microphone, and you'll still hear it, and be able to listen to music and talk to your friend. So
there's a really quick tip right there, and the Camel Pack worked really well.
Yeah.
If you're a thirsty person.
And we're gonna have, like you said, we're gonna have water, fresh fruit, chips, gummies. We have lollipops, all kinds of snacks for you guys. But just come out and let's take over the streets of Pico for the night.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, y'all. And
if you can't make it to this one, we're gonna have others.
Yes,
this is just the first.
I was gonna say that too, and not just that. We please, before I hand it over to AP, I want to please have you guys come down Wednesday to come see us in Uptown for our art show. We're going to do another podcast for y'all. This is somewhat of a practice. This is something we did for the first time. We wanted to try it out. So I liked it. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this one.
Let us know how we did and what you guys thought of the live video. We're still going to post all of our images that we usually post in our videos, but we're going to do it in our feed this time.
Yes.
Let us know what you think and if you like it. And then, so this Friday, we are doing another home gallery event, the Art Swap Meet, which will be at Smith Park I believe we're doing it from 5 to 8.
Yes, on Friday,
we're going to have a meeting as well. So we'll swap art. We'll have a meeting about home gallery events and such. If you're interested, come down. It's going to be during the Pico Rivera Street Fest, which is on Friday from 5 to 9 or 10, I believe. So I think Azo Motley is playing this time. So come out.
That would be pretty fun. Yeah. Just the event right after. I feel like we're going to be a part of it without being a part of it.
Come out and hang with us. And then you can, there's food trucks. There's all kinds of fun stuff.
It's real festive, very festive time.
It'll be a lot of fun.
I'd like to talk about the Ludus real quick before we go. $25 donation, guys. Like I said, you're around a bunch of people who are just like you. They just want to learn. They just want to know how to protect themselves, protect their families. We're getting back at it on Monday. So let me know, guys, doesn't have to be initial, doesn't have to be right now. I go at your speed, at your pace. It's not CrossFit, it's something that you could, knowledgeable wise, you can take it home with you and use it still. So please hit me up, DM me, email us. Let me know if I can get you guys started on your way being a fighter. Okay.
Just again, I wanted to talk a little bit about my tarot reading. So I do readings for $25. That's $25 for an hour, but usually ends up being like 2 to 3 hours, just because I like talking just as much, and I like giving the advice too, and going through the readings myself. So, if you're interested, please, $25. It'll be a lot of fun. I usually set up some tea and things like that.
Cool.
And don't forget to come out Wednesday. See us at the Art Stroll. Come by the Collab Incorporated.
And please give us any advice, criticism, anything to let us know, just so we can be better at this. I mean, it was our first time doing this. I think we did a great job. I had a lot of fun doing this. I know it's probably tough looking at my ugly mug the whole time, but at least you got some serious information off. Any questions? We don't see anybody yet. So if you guys have any questions, just DM us when you see this. If you guys have any information on why you want to tip the scale in the favor of either Morty or Fry, please let us know. Like who has that information? This decision's up in the air still. So the Interim Rumble has no winner in this one. So let us know. And let us know your thoughts on the Would You Rather. Who would you rather go to work with, Charlie or Dwight? Other than that, that's the end of our episode. I had a great time. Thank you guys who showed up and listened to us. Thank you to the fans. Thank you to the support. Thank you to the new fans we got. And we'll see you next time, guys. Have a good night. Peace. I gotta do it.
The camera placement